Hello again, YouTube. The new Independence season is live, and with it came 3 new training missions. We have been waiting for these missions for a while now since they let us know they were in the works 6 months ago. So, how'd they do? Before we get to the new missions, I thought to check on the first one, Vietnam Seek and Destroy, to see if there were any changes. And indeed there were. In my first ever YouTube video, you can see footage of the training mission as it was. I had noticed changes after that video was made and made a pinned comment on it, but there's more changes than just those. One obvious one is that they changed the tank you play from an M1A2 to an M60A1, which, thinking about the name of this mission, it's a change that makes sense, I suppose, as Abram tanks weren't used in the Vietnam War. The other changes I noticed previously was that they removed the base cap, so the intent of this mission seems to be teaching the player the game's movement and shooting mechanic, and even mentions the targeted system and auto-lock systems. This mission seems to serve its purpose pretty well, although it has many things going against it in my opinion, but I'll discuss those flaws later on as they are shared by all of these missions. So moving to the next one, Middle East Hold the Line, this mission is, well, not great. With the title you would expect that you're holding a line, and well, you do. This one shares the same flaws as the first, and I hope you'll see them before I talk about them, but just look at this while we're here. You one-shot every vehicle that comes across your screen. Even your bot allies do. I don't know what this is meant to teach new players, but let's just show you guys the rest of them so we can get an overview of these missions. Next up is France, Flank and Overcome. Again, with the title, I'm expecting a mission on flanking your enemy. How they go about it is neat, I suppose. It's a Fury movie reference. It puts you in the lineup with Shermans while you're in the titular Fury, and your line runs into a Tiger 131, which also, like the movie, starts killing your friends and leaves his bush line to run out in the open to give you an easy opportunity to, well, flank and overcome. It's cool, but is it really teaching something or being a set piece for a reference? Last one, Middle East Secure the Oil Fields. Now the title doesn't really give me much to go on, besides maybe this is where the base cap they removed from the original version of the first training mission comes back. But for some reason that's not the case. We are, however, back in the M1A2, but now our goal is to just kill all the enemies. I failed to see the lesson in this mission entirely. There's not much else to it. So after seeing the new missions, I can say they're pretty shallow, but what's wrong with them? Well, the first problem is the tanks don't perform how they would in the game. And I can understand the idea of giving the player loads of HP and better reloads and alphas and all that jazz, because you want to increase the chances of the player winning no matter their skill level. But to make them so widely different from the actual game's statistics is harmful. And even the tank lineups in these missions don't help, because don't forget, for the Cold War missions, they give you a higher era tank than the tanks you're shooting at. I feel like this lies to the player about what this game really is and how it plays. It won't be able to have that in co-op either. That disconnect can harm a new player's experience. The situations in the training missions may have seemed like real scenarios due to the fact that they are fighting with tanks rather than being taught skills with their tanks before the fighting. There's no ease into the game like before with the Proving Grounds, but I'll bring up the Proving Grounds later on. Another problem is that they're not really teaching anything. Albeit the first one did its job in the sense that it showed you how to move and shoot, but they throw you into scenarios that will never realistically happen in a match-made game. You won't hold a line and one-shot every tank that comes across your screen, like you did in the second mission. You won't come up on an impenetrable tank that is killing your whole team, and then will allow you to get around it and one-shot it. Best part of this mission is that because the Tiger does more damage and kills, whereas you can only get 150 damage in 1 kill, he gets MVP. How funny is that? But these are idealized set-piece scenarios, not reminiscent of actual gameplay. I think one problem here is making them all live fire exercises, because you may be overwhelming a new player with information while getting shot at. It may be hard to take it at their own pace when they didn't expect to be thrown into a faux battle. The old tutorial was a non-live fire exercise. Why did that change? I distinctly remember playing in the Proving Grounds with the Easy 8 Sherman and being able to drive around at my own leisure and get a handle of the tank without being attacked. It gave me time to take it in as I went about it at my own pace. The part I remember to this day is rolling up on a stationary Tiger 2, which is possible in the game with an Easy 8, but the difference here was the tank wasn't alive. and the game told me to avoid fighting tanks like that from the front, and that side armor is easier pen, but rear armor is by far the weakest part of any vehicle. And with that mission, it also had my movement and shooting mechanics, and more, all in one mission. There were, of course, quote-unquote live fire exercises back then as well, but they were after you got a handle of the game, and against bots in set modes that exist in the game. Proving Grounds also locked you in there until you completed certain requirements that would then open up multiplayer for you. There's that ease into the game I referred to. They gave you comprehensive training missions and bot scenarios that emulate the actual games you would have in multiplayer. And once they felt you were ready, they let you in. Then it was up to you to further your skills and whatnot. Now though, they make you play the first mission. Not sure if you're forced to play the other 3 before being sent into the garage, but if not, the player really isn't missing anything. And multiplayer is unlocked immediately. And we even have new player RNG to help them out, which is just not cool, man. Something I felt was off about these as well was how much they felt like war stories, with their set pieces and even modified maps. I don't know if this is where most of the time spent waiting for these came from, but they burned Desful and made a smaller version of it. Which, not gonna lie, is like how we got Scorpion Pass, and I wouldn't hate if we tried this smaller version in World War II, but that's a tangent we won't get into right now. They also made a raised hill on steps for the second mission. I don't see the need for making specific maps to these training missions, but they did. They also named your squad in the final mission, your Saber Squad, and it's presumed your Saber 2-1. What's with that?
Central Command has reports of an enemy armor patrol up ahead. Drive to the waypoints and establish a firing position. Intel that says enemy forces are 5 clicks to the southeast. We've got air support inbound to clear them out. Stand by for orders.
Copy that, Guardian 2-2. We're standing by.
All right, boys. Unfortunately, it looks like our air support just checked out. We've got enemy forces inbound on the southeast road. We need to hold the line here. Keep your eyes open.
Copy, Guardian 2-2. 2-1, going hot. Scanning for targets.
Our objective is to meet up with Baker Platoon and establish a position to defend the crossroads. Driver, move out. Enemy forces are going scorched earth on the local area and have set fire to the oil fields up ahead. Flyboys have a Warthog inbound to flush them out. Our job is to clean up and finish off any remaining enemy armor. Follow the highway north to the mark and establish a firing line. Move out!
Copy that, 2-1, Wilco. 2-3, rolling formation, north to the mark.
These don't feel like training missions. These are war stories light. I do hope they make more of these, but I hope they are done better. I struggle to see any real learning experiences here besides the very basic first one, and squeezing out the idea of flanking the enemy in the third one, and the idea of holding a position in the second one, even though they didn't put it in context of an actual game mode. That mission could have held more of an impactful idea if it was simply set in an assault match, and you were the defending team. How simple that would have been to add and make a better idea of a lesson. We're still missing vital missions on the fundamentals of the game, like the vision systems for both of the different modes we have. I'm really surprised we didn't get any missions on those, but also consumables and equipment. I feel a live playthrough of guiding the player through the UI to equip consumables and change ammo types and what to look at and assign commanders would be very helpful, and I would hope it's in the works as well. But after waiting for 6 months for these missions, it doesn't look good for our new players. But they could always change that, and I hope they do. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and also, what's your highest damage on the second mission? There's gotta be someone who got all the kills for all the damage, right?